Welcome to today's video. We're diving into a real-world crisis. When a well-intentioned family favor turns into an $8,000 credit disaster. You'll learn how financial abuse through unauthorized spending can wreck your credit, why utilization shocks can sink your score overnight, and step-by-step actions to protect yourself and rebound. We'll also cover medical bill tactics, when and how to report theft, and how to rebuild with boundaries that prevent repeat harm. Stay to the end for a recovery timeline and practical tools, and take the quick quizzes to lock in what you've learned. Here's the roadmap for today. We'll begin with what happened and why this situation is so damaging. Then, we'll unpack the math of utilization and credit score collapse. Next, we'll move into emergency actions, including freezing your credit and disputing charges. We'll cover debt paydown strategies, medical bill relief options, the critical decision to file a police report, and finally map a practical recovery timeline. We'll wrap with key takeaways and a couple of short quizzes to reinforce learning. This content is for educational purposes only and is not legal, financial, or tax advice. Laws, dispute rules, and assistance programs vary by jurisdiction and lender. Before taking action, consult a qualified attorney or certified financial professional and confirm policies directly with your card issuer and any medical providers. Let's set the scene. You lend your card for a small favor. Instead, the card gets used for an $8,000 cash advance and other charges you didn't authorize beyond the agreed amount. Cash advances carry especially high fees and interest that start immediately. The result is a sudden spike in your credit utilization and a rapid score drop, for example, from a solid 720 down to around 635. This shock can block you from relief tools like balance transfer cards and consolidation loans right when you need them most. Credit utilization is your balance divided by your credit limit, and it's one of the biggest factors in your score. A common goal is staying under 30% utilization, with under 10% often ideal for top scores. If your card had a $10,000 limit and it was hit with an $8,000 cash advance, you're now at 80% utilization. That can cause a dramatic score drop from a strong 720 into the mid-600s. Cash advances make this worse because fees and interest start immediately, rapidly increasing the balance. Act immediately. First, call your card issuer to cancel the compromised card and issue a new number. Next, freeze your credit with Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion to block new credit pulls or identity theft. Carefully review recent statements, gather documentation, and dispute the charges that exceeded your agreement. Keep making at least the minimum payments to avoid late payment marks, which further damage your score. Finally, cut non-essential spending and increase income where possible so you can reduce utilization quickly. To freeze your credit, go to each bureau's website, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Verify your identity and place the freeze. You'll receive confirmation and a PIN or password. Store these securely because you will need them to lift or temporarily thaw the freeze. Repeat the process for all three bureaus. In many regions, freezes are free. When you legitimately apply for credit later, you can lift the freeze temporarily for that application window. Documentation wins disputes. Save every piece of evidence, including texts, emails, screenshots, ATM receipts, and a clear timeline. Dispute charges in writing with your issuer, focusing on spending that exceeded the agreement. Ask the issuer about hardship options such as fee reversals, temporary APR reductions, or payment plans. Track dispute timelines and follow-up dates with calendar reminders. And consider using certified mail for critical correspondence so you have proof of delivery. There are two popular payoff strategies. With the debt avalanche, you target the highest interest rate first, which mathematically reduces total interest paid and is usually best when your APRs are high and money is tight. With the debt snowball, you target the smallest balance first to get quick wins that build motivation. This can be helpful if you need psychological momentum to stay on track. Both methods require you to make minimum payments on all debts while directing extra funds to your chosen target. Here are practical levers to improve cash flow quickly. Cancel or pause non-essential subscriptions to save between $50 and $120 monthly. Shop around for better insurance rates to save $30 to $80. Sell unused items like electronics or furniture for a one-time $200 to $600. Consider side gigs such as weekend shifts, rideshare, or delivery for $300 to $800 per month. Meal prepping and cooking at home can free up $150 to $300. Reducing energy use or negotiating utilities can save $20 to $60. Finally, ask your issuer about hardship relief for potential fee, or APR reductions. If part of your debt crisis involves medical bills, ask the hospital about financial assistance programs. Many nonprofit hospitals provide income-based discounts or even charity care. Always request an itemized bill to spot errors or overpriced line items. Ask about internal zero-interest payment plans that keep accounts in good standing while you pay over time. These steps can significantly reduce or spread out the burden of medical costs. Spending that exceeds the amount you agreed to can be considered theft. If private resolution fails or the person refuses to repay, file a police report and obtain a case number. Your card issuer will likely require this to process a fraud claim. Submit all supporting evidence, including messages, receipts, and your written statement. Understand the emotional difficulty of reporting a family member, but prioritize your financial safety. Going forward, set firm boundaries. Do not cosign and do not share card access. Use this as a working checklist. Replace the compromised card. Freeze your credit with all 3 bureaus. Meticulously document your case and dispute unauthorized charges. Protect your score by making on-time minimum payments. Reduce utilization aggressively by increasing payments and income. If you have medical bills, pursue assistance and insist on itemized billing. If the agreement was breached, consider filing a police report and a fraud claim. Finally, establish permanent boundaries to prevent future abuse. Quiz time. The question is, which factor most immediately drives your score recovery after a utilization shock like an $8,000 cash advance? Your options are A. Opening multiple new credit cards. B. Reducing your balance to limit ratio. C. Closing your oldest credit card. D. Ignoring the debt until it's charged off. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is B. Reducing your balance to limit ratio. Lowering utilization by paying down the balance is the fastest way to see score improvement after a utilization spike. Opening multiple new cards can backfire with inquiries and lower average age. Closing your oldest card can shorten your credit history and potentially worsen utilization. Ignoring the debt will lead to worse outcomes and further credit damage. This timeline lays out a 90-day recovery plan. In week 1, you replace the compromised card, freeze all 3 bureaus, dispute unauthorized charges, and, if necessary, file a police report. You also tighten the budget, list items to sell, and start a side gig for extra income. During weeks 2 through 4, make weekly extra payments to reduce utilization, pursue medical bill assistance with itemized bills, and track dispute and follow-up deadlines. By months 2 to 3, your goal is to be under 50% utilization by the end of month 2, and ideally under 30% by month 3. Resolve fraud markers and disputes, and only consider a secured card if it strategically supports rebuilding without adding risk. Here's another quick check. The question is, what is the safest immediate step to prevent new accounts from being opened in your name during a crisis? The options are A. Credit monitoring only. B. A credit freeze at all major bureaus. C. Closing all existing credit accounts. D. Requesting a higher credit limit. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We'll discuss it in the next section. The correct answer is B. Placing a credit freeze at all major bureaus. A freeze prevents new credit inquiries and accounts from being opened in your name, which is the most effective preventative measure. Credit monitoring is helpful but reactive. Closing all accounts can cause more harm and is unnecessary, and requesting a higher limit is not appropriate during a fraud or abuse situation. Here are the essentials. First, utilization is king. Paying balances down is the fastest way to recover your score. Freeze your credit, dispute in writing, and keep thorough documentation. If someone exceeded the agreed-upon amount, consider theft reporting and a fraud claim. Use either the debt avalanche or snowball method. Choose the one you will actually follow. For medical debt, request assistance and itemized billing. Above all, set firm boundaries going forward to protect yourself from repeat financial harm. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, please like the video, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe for more practical guidance on protecting your finances. I'd love to hear your boundary rules and experiences in the comments. Sharing helps others learn and stay safe.